What's up, everybody? Outdoor Pat here, top of the Bay Fly Co. Safety Harbor Outfitters. Today I'm tying what I like to call it a Snooky Cookie. This will be a beautiful fly for the beaches, for those beach snook. So I'm starting off with these dumbbell eyes. These are Hareline double pupil lead eyes, extra small. I like to make sure that's nice and flat. I've got a fluorescent pink thread, Danville 210. We're going to wrap back to the bend, just where it barely starts. I'm tying this on a B10S, size 2, I believe. Size 1 B10S hook. I like these because they have a really long shank, a lot of room to work with. I'm going to leave a big chunk up front here. Kind of like a snelled, like tarpon hook. And we are going to start off with some chartreuse marabou. Chartreuse and white, those are the colors I like to use for these. We're gonna have a nice healthy chunk. I've got one piece here. I found a couple of the little stragglers down here that will work pretty well. Not that guy. Just a couple of nice small pieces. We're gonna stack those from larger to small. I'm gonna lay these on top of the hook. That's a little much. I'm gonna take one of those out. All right. So we want almost exactly one hook length. With a B10S, that's a lot. That's a long hook. So, like I said, I want to make sure that's sitting on there evenly. A couple of wraps, pull tight, and straighten it out and adjust it as needed. So we start off wrapping the whole length of the hook with a nice thread wrap that gives everything a nice base to sit on. Helps to keep it from moving. So I'm going to wrap forward a little bit just to hold this stuff down. I'm going to trim these out. I like to trim at an angle like that, and then it kind of flares down. And I'll take some more of this, just kind of help it taper. There. Yep, still sitting even. So this is kind of, it's a little bit like a schminnow, but we're gonna stack some marabou. So we started off with a nice chartreuse. We're gonna cover that with some white. So you only have a little bit of the chartreuse sticking out in the back. So we're going to move this forward a little bit. So you'll end up with that little gap there, and that's okay. And these should be just a little bit shorter than the chartreuse. Just a little bit. You really just want that chartreuse to bleed through. You don't want a heavy chartreuse color here on this one. Two, three, pull tight. And now you can wrap forward. Okay, so from there, I like to put my materials back when I'm done with them. Why not? We got white fox hair. And this stuff, you want a decent chunk. Not super huge, but not small either. So this stuff's gonna layer. What we're gonna do here is put it up front. And we almost want this to splay out like deer hair. So you want to round the hook with it, not just lay it on top. And then we'll do some on the bottom as well. I'll do another chunk here on the bottom. It's a little bit thinner of a chunk. We're just trying to cover around the hook. Make sure it's nice and even. There, so that's going to splay out. And now we're going to try and pull these back. And we want to wrap, ouch, in front of them. Right there on that line, and that'll help those pop up. Alright, so now we're gonna put a little piece of Cactus chenille. We don't need a lot. Only a couple of wraps right up to the eye. And we'll wrap forward to the eye and maybe just past it. So while you're pulling all the fox hair back, go ahead and palmer this. So this is a large pearl cactus chenille. So you are able to like pull back the fibers like your palmer and anything else. We're going to go right up to the eye. Do a couple wraps right there just to thicken it up. We'll wind this back beyond the eye. And we will seal this down. All right. So we clip this. Pull all this back. Let's get everything nice and pointed back. And let's start a taper. Let's start a tapered head. I'll go forward, and I'm going to go all the way back to the eye. I love a nice cone-shaped tapered head. Yeah, it wastes a lot of thread. I'm okay with that. Because it looks cool. You're gonna whip that. I always do 2 whips because it's my fly. UV, Loon, UV. This one's Flow, just because I'm trying to cover it. I don't know what it is about this stuff. I just love the dang old smell of it. That's it. That's a done fly. You can make this weedless if you want to. I don't. Those little mono weed guards, they're all right. They tend to get hung up pretty well too. So that's it. That's a done fly. Snooky Cookie. Good for beach snook. And that's gonna get wet. It's gonna ride like this, and that collar is gonna pop up. So this is on the bigger end. I do some smaller ones. I used to do it without the chenille, and they worked really well. I think they worked really well. And you shorten the collar and you splay it up right up by the eyes. That it pushes water like a cupping motion, but like an underwater popping cork. But all right, guys, thanks.